Hello and welcome back to Web Adventures, part 2 of the Legacy of Kedarn. So, as a bit of a recap, Kedar is a world of demons, dragons, monsters. The dark creatures are kind of in rule of the land. They're warring for control of the land. Um, but the human kingdoms are trying to rise up and push back the dark forces. And I am a mage from the kingdom of Kedarn, um, come to a town called Boltingbrook, which is near another town called Agrodori. Um, and I am here to try to join the Red Knights, which are the warriors of the land. And yeah, I think that's pretty much a recap. As for what happened in the last one, if you want to know all the details, and you will want to know all the details, you should probably go watch part 1 of the Legacy of Kedarn story. That is on my YouTube channel. And then come back to this one. I will be sitting right here waiting. Okay, hopefully you paused the video and went and watched the first part of this. So now we are going to pick it up. So I'm riding quickly out of the area after just being run off by one of the Agrodori rebels. Probably the leader of the rebellion, or at least like a general or something, I don't know. So I'm riding out of the area. Do report back to Kedarn and tell the Emperor of the rebellion. So you report back to Kedarn and tell the Emperor of the rebellion. Seems like the wise thing to do. You tell the Emperor of what has happened, and he nods. Thank you for nodding. Need more story there, AI. I see, and you are certain that this is a rebellion and not a sideshow. What's a sideshow? You nod. Do ask what he commands you to do. You ask what he commands you to do. The Emperor grunts. Nothing, we're just here to observe and maybe help the people of Agrodori. You nod and report to your superior officer. Oof, maybe I should have gone to him first. I didn't really know what my place in the ranks were. A few days pass and you are reading a scroll one day when a man in shining armor walks into your tent. You salute. Sire, I have found a mage who could help your army. Am I the mage? Say, I will be glad to join the army. Tell me where I should go. You say, I will be glad to join the army. Tell me where I should go. The Emperor nods. Wait, I'm with the Emperor again? Okay, this was getting annoying. So I'm going to opt out for the remainder of the story. Opt out. Are you sure you want to opt out of future story summary prompts for the rest of this adventure? Okay. We can use all the help we can get. Where would you like to go? You tell him. He nods and gives you a list of towns. Do report to the battle in one of the towns. You report to the battle in one of the towns. Which town? We have no clue. A few days later, your squad is marching through a town in the kingdom of Agrodori. Okay, I'm back to Agrodori now. It used to be a prosperous town with a strong military. Do maybe inspect buildings? Like, look around, look into buildings and see if there is anyone left in the town. You look into buildings and see if there's anyone left in the town. You're ordered sent to a town further north. You approach the town and are stopped by a shoulder dressed in shining armor. ID. You show him your papers. Slow day, eh? Nay? It's a battle. How can it be a slow day? Uh, I'd say great. Um, it's definitely going better than it used to. Anyways, slow day, eh? He smirks. Anyway, you're ordered to report to the general's tent. You nod and continue on, this time much faster. The general is giving a briefing to a few people. Do stand and listen to the briefing. Briefing. You stand and listen to the briefing. The general motions to you. You there, report what you know about the Delantium Kingdom's army. You walk forward. Do give the report on the Delantium Kingdom army. You give the report on the Delantium Kingdom army. You explain how the army will be fighting in the forests on horses and knights. In the forest on horses and knights, or with knights on horses? Some of the little like grammar things that the AI does makes this very amusing. On horses and knights. Um, do ask for a number of troops to go and push them and battle the army in the forest. If I'm a mage and I have like kind of used the elemental powers to get my powers, then the forest should be a great place for a mage, right? Because it's like surrounded by living things, which should mean that I'm way more powerful than I'd be in, say, like a rock mountain or something. The general snorts. This is just a hop, skip, and a jump from the fighting. We could use the help. Okay, general. um, we could use the help. Do take another mage and some paladins to join the fight. You take another mage and some paladins to join the fight. You leave the tent and get some rest. Soon you approach the general, who nods. All right, go take care of those demonkin. The next day you ride towards the front lines. What happens at the front lines? When you arrive, the mountains are covered in black smoke. The demonkin have been destroying the forest, I guess, keeping the enemy from using it as cover. You get off the horse. Do command your troops to attack. Let's just see what happens. I don't want to necessarily use power yet, because if you've seen some of my older videos, the last time I was a mage, I like tried to use a very small amount of power on someone and ended up just like blasting the entire castle to bits, which is not great. The demonkin are attacking their horses, and you see several of them on the ground bleeding. You bellow an order to your archers, which I did not bring, but thankfully the story decides that I did. The archers are now going to fire. Do send... Oh dear. That's not good. A new evil has been spotted in Agridory. A dark wizard with powers of foresight and necromancy. Please say that's not me. No, because I refused... Ooh, I wonder... You see, if I were writing this, then that Red Knight mage who turned me away from getting the Scroll of Necromancy would have been the Dark Wizard. He would have, like, gotten the scroll himself and been like, haha, now I have the scroll, you fool. With powers of foresight, so I guess he's like a psychic, or like a, not a psychic, because those can, like, read people's minds. More of a future teller. You can see the future in necromancy. That's not good. The civilians fear him, but the army is fighting to protect the cities. Send a blast of energy into the Demonkin's forces. You send a blast of energy into the Demonkin's forces. The energy hits the horde, catching a few. You continue to order your attacks. Suddenly, you feel yourself losing control of what? My horse? My powers? Do try to find what is taking control of you. You try to find what is taking control of you. Watch it be the Dark Mage. The Emperor? The Emperor? The Emperor. He stands tall and regal in the middle of your tent. It's time, Ian. We need to finish the job. You nod slowly, still unable to speak. I've never seen a plot twist from the AI before. Good, you'll travel with me in my army. I need someone that can keep up. You nod again, still unable to speak, and follow the Emperor. Do find out who the Emperor is. You find out who the Emperor is. You stand on a rocky hill looking over the small village of Agradori. Black smoke from the dozens of burnt buildings only confirms your suspicion that something terrible happened here. So, do you think he saw into the future to know that we were going to attack? Or did he raise the dead? I don't know, the Emperor says, confused. I mean, if he launched an attack first... I don't know. Do ask for permission to hunt down the Dark Mage. You ask for permission to hunt down the Dark Mage. The Emperor nods. There's no time for questions now, boy. Go get him. You nod and start running down the hill and away from the encampment. Do hunt. Find the Dark Mage. You find the Dark Mage. You walk through the ruined village and note dozens of corpses lying about and the black cloaking speedsters sitting on tops of the houses. There's speedsters now. This has gone from, like, elemental power to necromancy, to me refusing the necromancy because I wanted to stick with elemental power, to someone not refusing the necromancy, and now he's a dark mage. And now we're the daggum Flash with speedsters running all over the place. Do capture one of the speedsters and get them to tell you where the Dark Mage is hiding. There. You capture one of the speedsters and get them to tell you where the Dark Mage is hiding. You throw a small barrel at the speedster, sending them sprawling out of the seat. You open the door and hop in, looking at the mostly intact... Wait a minute, is a speedster... Oh. Maybe I've watched too much of The Flash. I took speedsters to mean humans with the power of super speed. But apparently a speedster is a car. Do drive after the dark forces and their army. You drive after the dark forces and their army. You tear off down the road as you feel the air tearing past you. The roads of Kedarn are straight, made to bring artillery very quickly into position, and the demons use them as well as anyone. Do find the army. Maybe I should have specified dark army. Watch it bring me suddenly back to my army. You drive down the road at breakneck speed. The only thing you can think of is to contact the Emperor as quickly as possible and let him know that the undead are on their way. Do hunt down the Dark Mage. hunt down the Dark Mage. You gallop down the road. You can sense him, your insides twisting in a cold fear that you can almost touch. Da, 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 da. You can almost see the millions of corpses that he's commanding, standing at attention, waiting to be released. You can see him in the distance, a black shadow against the burning earth. I'm gonna let it write just a bit more. You smell the burning of blood and hear the cannons in the distance. You see the black army in the distance, approaching at breakneck speed towards your position. Do stand your ground and fight the army. You stand your ground and fight the army. You raise your sword, standing in the door of the tank. You aren't sure if it will do you any good, but you are determined. You hear a scream. Scream. And with that, we're going to stop the video, because it's been another 16-minute long video, and I'm going to try to keep them a little bit shorter. So yeah, that's part 2 of the Legacy of Kedarn. And apparently there's going to be a part 3, because this story definitely hasn't hit its climax yet, considering there's a completely new evil in the world now that wasn't here last time. So yeah, I will cut the video here and see you in the next one. Thank you. God bless.